That. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, let me fix my screen. I don't know why it's doing this.
I don't know why I have my headphones on because I'm not using them right now.
That's okay. All right. Here. Switch. Okay, and I'm going to put you in the big box
Cool.
and me in the
Nice.
little box. Oh, I'm so glad you could come. I wasn't sure. Am I pronouncing it right, Deyo?
Yeah, it's Deyo. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. It's I came
Yep.
upon your podcast or your TikTok by accident. Hold on, my neighbor's cutting the grass and it's driving me crazy.
Oh, that's what that
Sorry.
is. I thought it was like the phone acting up. That zzz.
No, we get so much rain here this time of year in St. Louis,
Yeah.
and the grass. Everybody's cutting their grass every other day. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. I on my lunch hour at work, I watched TikToks, and it was like the first time yours came up on my FYP, and I don't know why I never saw you before. And I watched your videos, and I'm like, oh, I got to get this guy as a guest on my Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday is what it's
Right
called.
on. Right on.
Yeah, Wisdom Wednesday. So tell me, how did you get started doing the scammer stuff?
So about I think it was 2015 or 2016, somewhere in there. Someone I knew was actually being romance scammed,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just a little bit surprised. She was all like, "Hey, I'm gonna marry this guy. He's gonna come over. He's high up in the military, and he can't really tell me much and whatever." So we were like, It doesn't sound like real." So we started doing some digging and found a Twitter account that he had stolen the money from. Sorry, stolen the profile from or whatever. And long story short, like the when we spoke to them and said, "Hey, this is a scam," they wouldn't believe us, and so we had to like find more information. And eventually, like once we presented everything, they broke down crying, just like completely heartbroken. And that was kind of like my first taste of like investigating a scam. Like I'd heard of scams before in the past and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but not anyone that I knew that had kind of like fallen for one. So at that point, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And then one day there's this app called Stingray where you could listen to different radio stations. I'm in Canada, by the way. So,
Oh, I have relatives in Canada. I love
oh,
Canada.
nice, nice.
Whereabouts in Canada?
I'd rather not say. I'm in
That's
Eastern
not
time.
it's
Yeah,
not a problem. Not a problem. I
yeah.
completely understand.
I'm in the Eastern time zone. So, um,
Okay.
we had there's this app, and so you could listen to different radio stations or whatever. And there was a radio station from across the country where they basically said like, hey, I just tuned in literally, and I heard them say, hey, we just got a hold of the CRA scammers that called us. This is their phone number. Call them and let us know how it goes. And so then I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm like, I'd love to do a prank call on these guys, right? So just grabbed my phone, called them up, and I did like an Asian accent, and the guy just, I didn't even get very far. I mean, maybe he said a few words, and he just started swearing, went off on me, and he hung up. So I messaged the radio station, I called him, I think I called them, and I was like, hey, I do accents, and I just did one with this guy, and he just went off on me. And they're like, wait, you do accents? And I was like, yeah. They're like, could we call you tomorrow and have you like do one for us? And I was like, sure. And so then they called me, and at that time I only had one kid. I have more now. But yeah, they had me do a call with the Canada Revenue Agency scammers. So you guys, the equivalent of that would be the IRS scammers.
IRS. Okay.
Yeah. So I did that, and then they're like, "Could you make a video of it?" And I was like, "Sure." I mean, I'd never really made videos at that point. I was like,
Yeah.
"Sure." So I made one, and then I sent it to them, and they were like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then they played it on the radio, and it was kind of cool. And then it was like once I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, I could like teach people how these scams work and all that kind of stuff." And then I just kind of started making more and more and more videos. This was back in 2018, so I've been scam baiting now for 6 years.
Okay.
Next month it'll be 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I started in 2016. I was never scammed. But I felt it was weird getting these. That's when I started my blog was in October of 16 because
Hmm.
these stories were so crazy and the love bombing. I
Right.
didn't get it. And so I was at work showing one of my coworkers a guy's picture, and she goes, "Oh, is he in the army?" And I go, "Yeah." "Oh, well, he's a scammer." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it became a regular thing, and I would tell my hairdresser, "I gotta write about this or something." I'm like, "I think I need a blog about it." And she goes, "Well, I think you do too." And I actually started my first blog, and I sent her and this other friend of mine who's a writer, "Now check this out, make sure I'm doing okay," and they both like gave me thumbs up. And my other friend, the writer, gave me some great advice, and that's how it started for me. And then I went from that to a podcast to TikTok. And no, how did are you? Do you essentially you're a voice actor? Do you do stuff that we might have heard besides on here?
No, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you are good. I only have a couple
Thank you.
accents, and they're not the best. But yeah, that one day when I found yours, and I was just sitting on my lunch hour, eat at my desk, and I'm just laughing, and people are like, "What's so funny?" I go, "Oh, just go away. I'll tell you later." So, how many different accent scenarios have you come up with? Probably a ton.
So I think there was a time, I think I did this about 3 years ago. I used to do these live streams on YouTube on Saturday nights where we would watch. I had like a little game that I would play with people where they could type in a word and then it would do like a randomizer thing, and
Yeah.
then it would shoot out a specific person, and then we would say, okay, great, who's the scam baiter you want us to go watch? So we'd go watch a scam baiting video together, as a on a Saturday night. And then I would just kind of plug that scam baiter. I would talk a little bit about their style and all that kind of stuff. And it was around then that I was like, I don't even really know how many characters or voices I could do. But I think at the time I was at like 17, like just different characters and variations of characters as well. And so I don't know. I honestly I just kind of like wing it most of the time. Where I'm like, I don't know. Like there's been times where I normally go in with a character name already that I want to do, and then when they ask me, "And your name, sir?" and then I'm like, crap, make one up now, and then I just kind of like off the cuff kind of do that. So
Yes.
yeah, this has
Lynn.
been
Oh, go ahead.
AEW CM Punk shirt.
Oh.
Right.
Lynn, can you see me? I also stream on YouTube, and I'm not showing up for some reason. And I don't know why. I may have to go out and come. Lynn, I'm going to go out and come back in. So I'll do that in a minute. Um, I'm very unorganized tonight. No, I think your stuff is great. I believe, and from watching your stuff, it's the same. I believe the best way to educate is with a sense of humor. And your stuff is just fantastic. I laugh all the time. Hi, Tammy. And it's good stuff. I love voices. I can't do many voices, but God, you do so many, and you keep a straight face for most of them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a term that like I'm a big wrestling fan. I don't know if you could tell, but there's like that's a champ wrestling belt and there's wrestling stuff all over here. Wrestling shirt. Anyways, there's a term in wrestling called kayfabe, which means like where you stay in character and you don't break kayfabe. So I really try to like stay in character. And there are times obviously like where I think more or less over the last like 2 or 3 years where I've started breaking character a little bit more and just like laughing as things are being done and stuff, just because like I've been trying for like years to just keep a like straight face, like I don't know what you're talking about, Sean, like that
I
kind of thing,
love
and
it.
it's
I
yeah.
love it.
So
I love it. I'm trying to get back on YouTube, see if that is. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, yeah. Wrestling. Speaking of wrestling, I went a lot in the '80s. Did you happen to see the Iron Claw about the Von Erich dynasty?
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Oh, okay. The Von
Mhm.
Erich was my
Okay. Yeah.
time
Yeah.
of going, and I got to see one time all three brothers wrestle together, Kerry,
Nice.
Kevin, and David.
Yeah.
And yeah, they Kevin Von Erich, he was like the hot one, and when I would go, there'd be all these screaming girls. Not that I screamed, but I did a little. I would go with my dad. I don't want to scream, with my dad there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was that they brought in a lot of young women, to watch wrestling and stuff. I don't watch as much of the newer stuff. I'm still old school when it comes to wrestling, but no, I find that fascinating. I did
Yeah.
see Hulk Hogan before he left to go to WWE, and some
Hmm.
other ones that I think have eventually worked their way over there.
Yeah,
So,
I'm the Von Erich that I'm mostly familiar with is Kerry Von Erich.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he's the one I'm mostly familiar with. The other
yeah,
Von Erichs, I didn't really, being in Canada, like we didn't really get like American channels, so was what I mean by that is like the ones that where the wrestling was on, right?
yeah.
So it was like you had to know exactly where to find it, and so I didn't, you know, I was like a kid, so I was like, oh, okay, Saturday morning, woohoo, you know, so yeah.
My friend that I go to the movies with all the time. This was at the time I think Conan the Barbarian came out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was one of his first bigger movies, and we
Hmm.
used to always joke Carrie could be like Conan's little brother, because he was
Hmm.
so built. And actually,
Yeah,
of all of them, he was the most built. And in the movie, the kid that played him was good, but he didn't have the Carrie physique. Actually, Zac Efron had the Carrie physique, and he played
right,
Kevin.
right, right.
But no, if you're an old wrestling fan, it's a good movie to see. I really really liked it. It was very
Yeah,
good, and I did cry in the end of the movie. So
yeah. I'll have to watch it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm a big fan. So are you very I know on TikTok you're very well known. In Canada, are you well known for your voice? I mean, I assume you have a second job like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
do,
I have a
a
like a
main job.
regular, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. I actually just I tried I diddle daddled with TikTok Live. I want to say maybe like 2 years ago. I couldn't get it to work. Part of the reason being because I'm using my computer to call the scammers, right? That's
Yeah.
where my phone line is based on the computer. And so if I'm on my phone and I have my headphones on, people could hear me, but they can't hear the scammer. And so I'd constantly be telling people just to go to YouTube if they want to hear the scammer, which was kind of lame because I'm like, then what's the point? And so I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. And then my account got banned. Actually, my first account got banned. They didn't give me a reason. It's really sucks because I
They
was
never
Deyo
do.
Club. Yeah, I was just Deyo Club on that. Like for all my socials, Deyo Club. TikTok's the only one that's Deyo Club one.
Yeah.
So once I got this account going again, then I started just kind of like, I had to get to 1,000 followers. That was really hard actually. Like I was like,
Oh yeah.
man, like holy crap. And then once I got to 1,000 followers, and I was able to go live. And again, I just did things like like randomly at night, I would do like this little like basketball shot thing, just like I'm like, I don't know, like there's no scammers out at that time of night or whatever. And then just earlier this year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna download TikTok Live Studio and see if I can go live through there and YouTube at the same time and Twitch at the same time. I'm like, I think I could pull that off maybe. And so that's what I do now is like I go live on all it's all on my
Yeah.
computer, right? So yeah. But
Yeah.
no,
No, I
not I don't nobody and I've been kind of okay with that. Like nobody really knows who I am. And that's okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I just started doing the YouTube live a couple weeks ago. I saw when I was in TikTok live jail on this account, I had to go to my Suzanne Sugarbaker account, which is my character. And so I borrowed that account. And then I realized, oh, wait, I bet I can go live on YouTube. Cat chaos. And so I had clicked on it, and then it says I have to wait 24 hours. And then the next night, and that's where I've got Chaos and I've got Daniel, or two people who come in every night when I do this. And
Mhm.
no, it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy doing both, but I'm like gonna look at both places, and I think I look
Yeah.
at the big computer screen more because it's bigger, But
Yeah. Right.
yeah, no, I'm trying to think what else I was going to ask you. I had a whole bunch of questions in mind. Um, oh, so have you had your account duplicated or cloned like many of us had?
Not yet.
Good. I shouldn't
Pretty,
say that. Now
I'm
it's going
pretty,
to
I'm
happen.
pretty, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know it's happened on Twitter, um,
Yeah.
but it hasn't happened. It's happened on Twitter and on YouTube, where it's just like find me on Telegram, people who leave comments on your videos and stuff on my videos. But I have like a really good filter system on YouTube
Yeah.
that I don't really get those kind of comments. I don't know why a lot of other creators, like ones that have like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, I don't know why they don't go. go into the back end and like put in a little bit more filtering for those comments
Yeah.
to be excluded. But like I have it so like you rarely ever see those kind of comments on my video, and when I do find them, I just delete them, I remove them. So
Yeah, yeah. I do that with a lot of the comments on here. I get those, oh, hacker guys, they'll be like, oh, thank you, Clint Tech, for helping me get my money back,
right,
which we all
right,
know you
yeah,
can't. So I go through, in the evenings a lot of time before I go to bed and try to clear out all those. And I do videos about those saying, hey, don't fall for them. Nobody can get your money back,
right,
so don't,
yeah,
because I did last year. I was curious to see what would happen. And on my Suzanne Instagram account, it was a hacker Morgan. And so I followed him and he followed me back. And so I did this with two different guys. And they're very good at convincing, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they're sending you screenshots. Oh, but I need $250 in Bitcoin to be able to buy the software,
right,
and
right,
that's where they get you. I was just curious because I'm like, okay, where's this going to lead? I want to find out. So
right,
I
yeah.
did not send him Bitcoin. I don't send anybody anything. I don't even like to give my daughter money. So,
So good. That's so good.
yes, yes. So, does anybody have any questions? I could bring some of you in the box if you want, because we got room. But no, I watch your stuff and I'm just, oh, their voices are great and they're very good. You're very entertaining, which I like. I like people to be entertaining, make me laugh. And with this kind of subject, which is a very serious subject, I like that people that can, like Jersey John and Chad Huber, they are really good creators as well. And they do humor with theirs, especially Jersey John. He's
Mm.
really good. Oh, ladies, Susan Ann says, what was it like working with Pierogi?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. I've had a good experience being at the People's Call Center. I don't know if you're familiar with that or
Hmm.
not, but for those who might not be, basically it was a gathering of different scam baiters from different parts of the world at his office, and then we would basically listen in on scammer calls that were potentially talking to victims. We would try to save victims in real time. I mean, I have access to a lot of that stuff even now. I've just changed my tune uh, on victim stuff. So yeah, I've changed my tune on you know airing someone online, like putting someone on the internet that's in the process of being scammed and saying like, "Hey, you're falling for a scam right now," and then their name accidentally gets leaked out or their email or something like it
Yeah.
happens. You know what I mean? Or their phone number, and so it's like I to avoid that altogether, I'm like I don't stream the
Hmm.
calls. I may post the videos at some point, but I'll tweak their voice a little bit so it does it's not fully recognizable by someone who may know who they are, like the voice or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so yeah, but
Protect
like
their identity.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, being at the People's Call Center was really good. It was cool to meet like a lot of like I met Jim Browning, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so not a lot of people have seen what he looks like. A lot of people, first they never even saw him, and then they saw him with a mask, and then I saw him without the mask, and we had dinner together, and um, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. I don't think he's doing it this year, and I
My
think
hockey
I
mask.
wouldn't. Yeah,
Before I would put on my wig and my hat and my other glasses, I would
yeah,
do the hockey mask. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I don't. If he would have had it this year, I wouldn't have been able to go anyway. So so yeah, I didn't end up going. So
Yeah. You already talked to this, but we can talk about it again. Sandy asked, "What made you decide to do this?"
yeah, so basically, someone I knew was being catfished, so romance scammed, and after kind of being exposed to that kind of world, tuning into that radio station where they were like, "Hey, the Canada Revenue Agency scammers just called us. Here's their phone number. Call them and let us know how it goes." And once I did the first one, literally like the video, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that kind of says like how I got started, like the whole
I
thing,
did a
and
video about that too because I would
yeah,
get asked a lot. And I
hmm
just didn't want my people that come in every night, oh my God, she's going to tell that story again. So I did a video, although I
yeah,
still tell it if somebody does ask, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
always
Same
like,
with me.
go to the
Yeah,
video.
yeah. But yeah, in that I did do that. I called them, and I think what it was for me was like the video kind of took off fairly quickly. The one from like almost 6 years ago, and I got to like I think like 5,000 views in like a week or two or a month. I can't remember, but I mean I never posted on YouTube really. So then seeing that, I was like, what the
Yeah.
heck? That's crazy. And then I was like, oh, cool. Like, people want to watch this kind of stuff. So then I kind of decided to start doing it more and more and more and more. And then I've been making videos ever since.
Yeah. Um, Lady Susan says, have you heard the voices that Doc Compton does?
Yeah, I
He's
have. Yeah.
credible. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him as a guest. We've exchanged emails,
Yeah.
and I need to email him back just to see if he wants to pick a date. And Matthew asks, what would your advice be for anyone who wants to get into scam baiting? For me, it's have a very creative mind.
hmm
Because I get to be
Yeah.
pretty wild on some of my stuff. And hi Denise. So yeah, so what is your how do you what was the question again? Let me rephrase it. What would be your advice for anybody that wants to get into scam baiting?
Sorry that, yeah, Tammy, that was actually a lot of fun. Doc and I were on a call together one time and it was a lot of fun. Um, Honestly, this sounds kind of cheesy, but I think you have to figure out why you want to start scam baiting in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're doing it for the right reasons, then it's wide open. I think if you're in it for the wrong reasons, eventually you burn out and you figure out like I don't care to do this, or you become kind of greedy about it,
Mm-hmm.
and or you can become kind of a bit narcissistic, like my the way I do it is the best. The only
Yeah.
what I do is the only effective thing, like that kind of thing. You can become like that. But if someone's got the right frame of mind when like wanting to scam bait, I would say I would say that one of the things that you should definitely do first and foremost is think about how to keep yourself safe online first.
Yeah.
So you know, figure out, okay, do I want to do tech support scams? Do I want to do refund scams? Do I want to do romance scams? Do I want to, do, I don't know, like the cartel scam, for example, is gruesome. Like
Yeah.
some of the pictures that they send you, like just the other day, yesterday I was beating the guy and he sent me these pictures and I was like, man, like if you had a weak stomach, like that's probably not for you. And I have a weak stomach, so I mean that's why I didn't become no doctor or anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know, um, yeah, shoot, I can't even go on a roller coaster. I freaking feel like I'm gonna throw up, and I don't want to see barf. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be
I
on a roller
used to
coaster.
love them when I was younger, but I got older and it's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So I would say, don't use your real number. If you're gonna allow a scammer to connect to you, use a virtual machine. But most importantly, if you're gonna do that, use a VPN so it keeps you safe. Um, and then find a VoIP like a Google Voice, Skype, or Text Now
I have the
number.
both. I have Google Voice
hmm
and I have a text now I've had for years. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and create an account that's not like your name
Oh
to
yeah.
log into those. Like so that way you keep yourself. If heaven forbid that it gets hacked or whatever, you could just like let it go and just start something else with a different like pseudonym,
Yeah.
or whatever online, right? Just safety is like really important, I think, and I think it's just something that we need to do more of, especially if you want to start scam baiting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tammy or Denise, yeah, Telegram, any of those places, that's where all the scammers like to go. I know I
Yeah,
have a Telegram, but it's strictly for Suzanne, and I have Zanji for Suzanne. I've had Google Chat for years, so I think that's what they call it now. Used to be
yeah,
Google Hangouts. So, but yeah, any of those, I mean, you can use them for friends, but if you give it to somebody you don't know on dating sites or what, and I got a scammer calling now. Um, you, you know, they'll annoy the heck out of you on those,
Yeah. My concern, I think, with Telegram is I think you have to use your real phone number to verify the account or something like that.
No, I don't think I did. I think I gotta look
So,
to see what, because I never use my real number on any of this stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I
yeah, well,
tried
that's
using
why
my.
I don't do WhatsApp. You have to have your real number for
Oh, that's what it
WhatsApp.
is. It's
Yeah,
WhatsApp. Yeah, that's it. Not
yeah,
Telegram. Right.
yeah, because
Okay.
they always want to go to WhatsApp, and I said, "Oh
Yeah.
no, I have Zanji. I'll go to
Yeah.
Zanji."
WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, big red flags when they say let's
Yeah,
go to those instead. So,
yeah,
yeah.
most definitely. Anybody questions? Anybody want to come into box and talk to Deyo? This is great. I wasn't sure if you would be able to make it tonight, so I cut my intro short so that when I saw you pop in, I'm like, okay, forget everything else. We're going to, hey, Daniel, how you doing? Hi, Jeff. Um, Jess said Deo is awesome. And then Chaos says hello. And Daniel, they're my regulars on YouTube. Jess is also on here, but she
Nice.
pops over there sometimes. So, but I don't know why I can't see me. Oh, well, I guess it's better I don't.
You're you're John Cena.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Messenger too. Like my Facebook, I have one for the pink lady and I have moderators that take care of that, but my personal Facebook is private, so only people that know me can see my stuff.
Hmm.
But I still get like message requests.
Yeah.
I check the thing once in a while and no, you're a scammer, I can tell. So, oh, Doc was having the same issue with YouTube.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow, Suzanne. She had someone hack her Snapchat twice this week. So, has anybody got any questions, comments? Oh, Joe, what's your favorite part about scam baiting?
Um, for me, I think when I go into my comments and stuff and I see like people say like I came across your video, thank you, like this helped me a lot. Like any of those things, I guess the when you know the five love languages, um, right? So I think mine are like words of encouragement. And so when I see those kinds of things, like it just makes me go, okay, good, this is good. This is, if it helps someone, then I'm doing something that's good. So I in particular, like that's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah. Jerry, in a way, I could be considered a scam baiter, but they reach out to me first. I never make the first move except for Hacker Morgan, only because I wanted to see where that was going to go. But they'll reach out to me, I'll respond back, and then it starts. And then I go into character. Um, some of them I don't mess with. Others, I string on. Like last night, I came on late because I went to the show and I had this one guy, and it's amazing how I could get bank account numbers from these guys. They want me to send them money, and I'm oh yeah, I'm just full blown, and I get bank, and what I do is send a letter to the bank and telling them what's going on, and when I first started this, I got bank account numbers galore, and I was telling a girl that works in my cybersecurity department, "Hey, this is what's going on," and she goes, "You need to send all that to the FBI." So I put a little stack of stuff together, sent it to the FBI office in downtown St. Louis, and I actually got an email back like 2 weeks later. And the lady said, "Well, it's nice to hear from someone who hasn't sent these guys money." And she
Right.
goes, "It's good that you're sending the banks a letter because then they'll either close the account down or keep an eye on it."
Yeah.
Now, the one night on my live, actually twice, when I got bank account numbers, I have a subscription to Ben Verified and White Pages, and it gives you the name of somebody, and I found it. I did call the one person, left a voicemail saying, "Hey, someone's using your account. I think you're being used as a money mule." She didn't say any. She didn't call back or anything. But then the next night, I sent a text, and then she said, she was like, "Thank you," and with praying hands. So I don't know what that meant, but I mean, I'm assuming it meant good. And then
Yeah.
like last night, I think I did the same thing. After I got off here, I texted him and left a message. I mean, I can't go any further than that. I can only say, "Hey, this is what happened."
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you this is just I'm just throwing it out there, but um so I there's people behind the scenes and stuff like Intelligence for Good and like a bunch of other people that we work with that when we get those details, we forward them like immediately. And action is taken on them like right away.
Oh,
So yeah, so like we'll get message back saying like this Bank of America account has been closed. This Zelle account has been like, closed or
oh,
whatever.
cash apps. I get
Um,
cash apps a lot.
yeah, yeah, things like that. We forward those over, and I mean, there's like that's the one great thing about Intelligence for Good is there's like a lot of connections, not just Intelligence for Good, but like the people who work with Intelligence for Good as well.
Is that
There's
the
a lot of
name of it?
connections.
Intelligence for Good?
Yeah, there's yeah.
Oh,
Not a lot of not a lot of people know too much about it because they don't like make themselves like really publicly known. It's more of a behind the scenes kind of thing. And so yeah,
well, I'll start doing that.
yeah, so we just like I just send them info and then boom, like daily,
Do
you
you
know.
have an email or do they have a website? Because I can Google it.
They so in order to
You can
get
message me privately with the
yeah,
information.
yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to say out loud.
Yeah.
Um, so that's good to know because if I can just send it there and save some postage, no, not that I care, but you know, this is great. Oh, Matthew, what's the longest scam bait you have ever done? As have heard, sometimes it can take weeks for them. I had a guy the other night, 30 seconds, ask for a gift card. My followers keep, when I'm on a phone call, they keep track and I'll look up like chaos on YouTube. Okay, how long was that? It was like 30 seconds. He's asking for a gift card.
Yeah. I think my longest scam bait went for 20 months, 20, maybe 22 months. I can't remember if it was 20 or
Wow.
22 months. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a Nigerian scammer. He was doing a grant scam.
Mhm.
I got him on video camera like 4 or 5 times actually. Like
Wow.
full on, like he wasn't trying to hide. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Jerry, I have a couple voices in my repertoire. Now, they're not as good as Deo's. I have one. Hello, I'm Suzanne Sugarbaker. How you doing, honey? You just look so fine to me. That one I
Mhm.
can really go crazy on. Now, the one I've been using lately, and I'm still working on it, is kind of like my New York accent. And that one I have to think because that one's a lot harder to do. But once I
Yeah, it
get,
is.
I'm going to try here. It's not easy. Okay, honey, I'm the boss, and this is kind of what I want. And I don't like that you do this. But this is how it's going to be. And I can do it better when I'm in a long string on there talking to a guy. And then the other week, I did this really terrible high pitched voice, talking soft. It was leaving voice messages on like Instagram, and I was like, "Hi, my name is Suzanne. I'm so excited to meet you." Something like that. And then I do the fake crying. Like when they are giving me all these sweet nothings. Oh yeah, Daniel, so these guys on YouTube are who, because they'll tell me things to say to the guys, and the thing I do now is like we're in deep emotional fake connection, and I'll say something like, "Will you bark like a dog for me? Because I really like that." They do it
Yeah.
almost every time. One time I got a guy to not only do a dog but a cat as well. Um, oh, it's hilarious. I gotta see. I got a week's worth of videos. I got them downloaded, but I gotta edit them and get them out here. But I mean, that's kind of, and I go full blown crazy. There's one. It's 19 minutes long, and it is on TikTok. It's Prince Faza of Dubai, the fake prince. I get a lot of those, and it was I didn't send him money or I blocked him on Zanji and he got me back again on Instagram, and I'm just going nuts. I'm playing music and I'm like, "Do you like Donna Summer?" And I had hot stuff because that was my opening song that night, and I'm just going crazy and I just start singing and I'm like a lunatic. The next day I watched that video, I don't know how many times at work, and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, what drug was I on? I wasn't on a drug. I think I was on a high because my daughter bought her first car that afternoon. And I
Uh,
was so thrilled for her. And I just went like bonkers through the whole thing. And then fake Faza puts his sister on the phone and I'm talking to her.
yeah.
And I mean and the pictures I use you'll see on some of my stuff out there. I make myself less attractive. I got on this I got a new wig, but that old wig when I dressed up like Garth of Wayne and Garth in the early 90s. So it was old. I finally bought a new wig a couple weeks ago. It's much nice. I have it hanging on a hook back here so I can grab it. But I mean, that's just kind of the crazy stuff I do. And it's so you can hear how goofy and stupid these guys sound,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's my way of doing, and I have a good time doing it as well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I have so many fake Fozes. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Was there another question in here I missed?
Party on, Garth.
So yeah, I love those guys.
Mhm.
What is a good site
Yeah.
to do a picture lookup? Well,
Yeah.
it used to be the Dark Knight, and they're charging, and you have to pay by crypto. I have the Reversi app, and it works sometimes. And then there's also Google Lens. I know there's another one, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. You can look up Tin Eye is another one.
That's it.
Yeah, Tin Eye. I believe they got bought out by Google actually, so I think they kind of combined them with Google's reverse image search.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's I mean yeah, there's ways to like get people's like IP address and whether they're when they click on it, are they looking at what you sent them in landscape mode or in portrait mode? Like I mean that's how detailed it can get,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have one guy on here. We partner up sometimes. He's busy with work, so I don't see him as much, but he's Coastal Cowboy 79. And
Mm.
follow him. He's really good. Of course, he has a cloned account like I do. But he, on Sunday evenings, he had the TikTok studio. So he was able to show us on his computer and taught us stuff. And one of the things he taught us was about Grabify,
Hmm.
where you can when they click on the link that you send them that you
Right.
create, it'll tell you where they are, which is really
Right.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Grabify is really cool.
Yeah,
I
and it's
learned I learned
free, and it's
yeah,
free.
I learned about Grabify through Pleasant Green.
Yeah,
He was like the first one that I saw using it, and I was like, "Oh, that's super cool." I'm like, "I'm gonna try to use it now too." And then I
yeah,
have to.
yeah. Because these guys, they want to say we're gullible and but these guys are really sending me bank account numbers, and I'm like, dude, what are you thinking? I
Yeah.
get excited when I get them, like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you use that? Country Girl. I will find it. Cowboy created a video, and I think it's on his YouTube channel. Send me a private message on here so I can look for the thing and send you the link. Because I don't remember, since I haven't really used it. I only used it that night when he was teaching us. So,
Yeah.
but do that. Send me a private message. I won't remember, and I write too many notes as it is. So, anybody else have any questions? I'm just so excited you were able to come on. It's hard when you um, find someone on here, and then like you said, if they don't follow you back, you can only send
Mm.
up the 3 messages, which is why I posted on
Oh
one of
yeah,
your
yeah,
videos saying, "Hey, I sent you a message. Please read
yeah,
it." Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got question, Chaos? I'm sorry. Where's your question? Oh, so Chaos wants to know, what is the craziest scammer story you have? Thank you.
Craziest, I would say probably craziest scammer story is that 20-month one. Just because, I mean, I had to basically like I played two characters, so there was like my dad and then I played the son simultaneously. And when I was doing that, I mean, I had to. It was during COVID, so what I ended up doing is I ended up saying my dad passed away due to it. And then that, like, I was miserable and I needed girl advice. He helped me write like a letter, like a love letter. I mean, there was like just like so much to that. He's a young guy too. Like, I was able to actually use some social engineering like the scammers try to use on us. And
Yeah,
I actually got him to download AnyDesk. And then I actually connected to his phone and I was able to look at the files that he had on there. And I was able to pull some of that information out. I didn't delete anything. I just kind of left it there because that's crime, right?
yeah,
So if he gets caught, there's the evidence right there. If I delete it, then there's no evidence. Like
yeah.
I cleaned his phone.
I love
So
it.
yeah, so I pulled the info and then I gave it to the ladies at Ava, and they were like searching like for all these victims and stuff like that. There's people's tax forms on there. I mean, he had so much stuff. But he was a young guy. And I got his real name from his name was Olanukin from Ogun, Nigeria.
Yeah.
I pretended I used a different text now number and I messaged him pretending to be a rival Nigerian scammer saying to leave me alone. Like there was just so much there in those 20 months. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, I have a whole series on it on YouTube, like the 20-month, like going through the messages and stuff like that we did.
Yeah,
So
I do follow your YouTube. I have to go check it out. Trust Just You or someone's talk like they're very educated. I had a guy the other night, and I think I ended up being on the phone an hour. And basically, I was all, Suzanne Sugarbaker, wild and crazy and goofy. And then at one point, he's like professing love, and I'm just like, my tune changed. I'm just like, oh, I'm so
yeah,
lonely, and I just don't feel like I'll ever get married. And he was like counseling me and saying all this stuff, and it's hilarious. I have not put it out there yet. I've got to. But this went on for an hour, and then when I was done, I blocked him. Because he's like, I want to talk to you tomorrow night. I'm like, yes, yeah. And then I block them. Once
yeah,
in a while, if I block them on Zanji and I forget to block them on Instagram, like that 120-minute video I was talking about earlier,
yeah,
then I like that guy. He's like, you blocked me on Zanji, and you'll see on the facial expression on my face because I'm like, uh-oh, you know.
yeah.
Oh, do you ever talk to them normal, like Doc, to hear their story?
Is that
You
a question
first.
for me?
Yo, both of us. I'll answer after
Oh,
you.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I've done that like over the years. The challenge with talking to them normal is many of them just say what you want to hear basically. Oh, like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stop scamming. I only took this job because, I have someone sick here at home, blah blah blah. There's always like a sob story,
Yeah.
and they don't leave. Like they just keep doing what they're doing, and then they just it the only people I've actually ever seen turn scammers from scamming are Trilogy Media.
Hmm.
Those are the only ones that I've ever seen, like where there's like a reformed scammer, where someone who was like, "Hey, I used to scam people, but now I've changed my ways." They're the only folks that I've ever seen do that. Their
Yeah.
methods are a little bit more flamboyant, I guess you could say. But yeah, just the regular talking to these guys. I mean, they're just gonna tell you what you think you want to hear. I mean, I've done it for years, and
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say it's fruitless, but there are times where sometimes I stay in character, but I try to give them a message, like, because stealing is bad, son, and God's looking, and you don't want to be a disgrace to your family, like I'll just make general comments like that kind of just like it's just kind of like, like there you go,
Yeah.
that this is you. I'm talking about you right now. This is you.
Mhm.
Point. This is you. Boop, boop, boop. That's all I'm doing.
I
You
love
know?
it. I
Yeah.
love it. I
So.
have in the last probably 2 weeks. Oh, I will ask that, Daniel. I still stay in my character voice, but I've been trying to been like a life coach, and I know it's
Mm.
not going to get anywhere, but the one guy the other night, even up until the very end, well, can you at least send me $10? And I was like, dude, what did we just talk about for the last half hour? And even up until the very end, and they give you the scams, the sad story. My mom is really sick, and
Right.
Daniel on YouTube goes, ask your thoughts on AI and how scammers are using it now.
Eesh. My gosh, man. And where I was just talking about this on the other night. I don't remember when. Saturday night, yeah. I was talking about that, how, AI is being used for like the grandparent scam, the
Mhm.
kidnapping scam. There's and we're just like it is a baby right now. AI is just a little itty bitty baby, and it is amazing how good it is. And in the wrong hands, obviously, it's very detrimental to society. But yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if they start using it more and more and more and more and more and more. And this is why awareness is so important. You gotta really help people use their critical thinking skills. And it's hard to do when they're putting this like emotional um, pressure on you. right? You're not in the right frame of mind when someone's telling you like, if you don't do this now, this person is going to be unalived, right? And
Yeah,
you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't want that to happen. You don't step back and like think about the situation. You just go, oh my gosh, I don't want this to happen. We're emotional beings, like this. We
yeah,
That's how we are. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you go, you stupid mother, like,
yeah.
um, and so even with the kids in the
Flip the
back, no, I'm just
bird.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Even with the kids in the back. But yeah, it's the AI again is cloning your voice, right? Yeah, there's so much I think that uh, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I've had some fake celebrities. I think I posted one out here. It was fake Taylor Kinney from Chicago Fire. And I just got another one on my phone the other night. I forgot which one it was. The voice sounds exactly the same as Taylor, the fake Taylor Kinney. Now, the voice does not sound like it. And I was telling people, okay, the one thing you gotta, when a celebrity's gonna do a video, it's not gonna be monotone, talking the same way, I love you, And then I also tell them, look at the eyes, because the eyes don't always blink. I saw that. Or if
Right.
they do, it's a weird blink. And of
Yeah,
course,
it's like
the lips are always just off a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And the lips are always off a little bit.
yeah,
So Tammy, that's a good suggestion. Have a code word between your family
yeah,
members.
yeah.
And my code word, everybody should know what it would be. Chris Evans, my cougar crush.
Hmm.
So, no, that's an excellent idea. That really is.
Yeah, that's great advice, Tammy.
Yeah. Anybody else got any questions, comments? Oh, yeah, I said that already, Daniel. Oh, Chaos goes, can you go through your list of voices? That's a good one.
Oh man.
Or just a few, maybe. You don't have to go
Yeah,
through your whole
sure,
repertoire.
sure. So just an FYI, I want to make sure I preface this perfectly fine. Um, to me, okay, to me, the accents themselves are not what's funny to me. You know what I mean? I have relatives who speak the way that I make fun of like the when I create a character. I have like people in mind that I know that have said things that I say sometimes. And so the accent itself to me is not funny. It's the character that has the accent. So I just want to preface that because it is widely it can be misunderstood to be like, oh, if someone speaks that way, it's funny. It's not. It's, what is the character? What is the character? What's going on with the character? So,
Well, I
I'll
always
start.
apologize when I do the Southern accent that I am not
Yeah,
making fun of Southern women at all. And I
yeah,
always apologize when not the New York one. That's not as good as the Southern one. Excuse me, but I have New York friends on here tell me, "Well, you sound better than New Yorkers." No, I don't think so. But no, I understand that because I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm making fun of Southern women. I am not.
right,
They got
right.
the best accent ever.
Right, right.
Okay,
So yeah, so obviously, I start out with I can do a few different like Spanish Latino sounding accents, and that's just based on depending on where the character's from. So like I have a character who is a Chicano character. His name is Chico, and when he talks, he's like, "Órale, vato, what's up, eh? Simon, you coming over to the crib, eh? Simon, hey, my little cousin Frijolito, he was by the house the other day." And man, he brought his girl. Damn, vato, Simon, that's what's up. Like I do that one.
that's good.
That's like a Chicano version. Then there's like you have your more of like a Latin lover kind of guy. Hola, mi nombre es Fernando. How can I help you today, my friend? You and me, we can get together and we can make sweet babies. I don't know, something like that, right?
I love
Um,
it.
there's that, and then there's like a typical like Um, I don't know. Somebody come by my house the other day. They tell me that the police is coming, and I don't know why the police is coming because look, I come here. Look, okay, like me and my family. Yes, there's like 15 of us, but even though there's 15 of us, we eat tacos every day. Okay, a taco for her, a taco for him, a taco for my sobrina, my tío, my tía, my primo. Everyone gets a taco. Something like that. right?
Yeah.
So that's another little character that I'll do. And that so just in that like there's three like Latino Latin kind of versions, right? That
Yeah.
that you can kind of do. And then there's your typical like same with like your southern accent kind of thing, like I'm talking kind of like this, and at the end of the day, look, bud, all right, I'm a clutter bug. That's all there is to it, right? Something like along those lines. And for those, like I don't, those are just voices that are or accents or voices that I'll do that I haven't really made like a real like fine tune into a character.
Yeah.
Um, there's okay. I want you to know that when you are talking to these guys who are sounding like they are saying, "Hey, baby, I want to make love to you. I want to have babies with you, start a family with you." Really, what they sound like is like me, all right? They are not sounding like an American guy, but I want you to know that they probably, like me, have a business, gratitude rock. You need your own very gratitude rock, I don't know, something like that.
I love it. So where did your the voices start? Was this something you did as a kid growing up,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
don't
I
be
mean,
embarrassed?
yeah, no, no, no. I'm itchy, like right here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not embarrassed. Um, it started when I was a kid. It all started when many years ago, my mother would sit me down in front of all these people and she would say, "Hey, you come here now. You tell them the truth." So what she would say is, because I have friends from all over the world. So by hanging out with all these kids, I'd go to their houses and I'd hear their parents talking and them talking back to their parents and then afterwards like talking to me in those accents. Like my one of my friends from Trinidad, he would literally be arguing with his mom back and forth and he'd turn around, look at me and be like, "Man, what the hell wrong with she?" And I'd be like, "What?" you know? And like that's like a terminology that they would use within themselves. And he's like, "Oh, my bad, yo, I forgot, like I forgot you're not Trini." And I'm like, "Okay." So little things like that, like just I grew up in it's an extremely multicultural city.
I love it.
And so like I had like a handful of white friends. Everyone else was from like a bunch of places all over the world. And so like, you pick up accents here and there and then you kind of
Mhm.
like say, "Oh, okay. This kind of sounds like this. Okay, this sounds like this." And that's my whole idea is to also, when I do these accents too, is to show people, look, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If a scammer thinks that you are a vulnerable person, they're
Yeah.
going to try to take advantage of you. You could be an immigrant. You could be, someone who's been here for a while. You could be an old person. You could just be a regular person. They're going to try to take advantage of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one thing happen 2 weeks ago at work. I've been doing the New York accent more and more, and I was in this meeting, and it was all our linemen and stuff, and they were talking about safety on the streets, and they had somebody from the police department come and talk, and they were talking about how about pulling on people's driveways and such, and I just at the end make a joke and I forget to talk in my voice, and I go, "Yeah, if you guys are ever in my block, go ahead, park on my driveway, I don't care." I did it because I was thinking about all that stuff in my head while listening in the meeting and making mental notes, and it came out like that. And then I looked at my boss. Oh my god, I thought I was on YouTube or TikTok. I said I did. None of the guys, they're guys, they're linemen, they don't pay attention to anything,
Right.
But I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. So
Yeah. I find like specific accents, especially ones that are, um, like if they're not like American accents to me are very difficult to do. Like Bostonian, New York, um, some Midwest. They're difficult for me to do. Like
yeah,
the really exaggerated ones that I feel like, like the southern ones, they have a twang to it. So it's just you could
yeah,
just exaggerate that accent, and most of the accents are like they're an exaggeration, right? Like
yeah,
it's what the accent is, but like amplified. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's mine are just terrible, and I just really overdo it. But that's what makes it funny. So, oh, somebody asked if you could do a cowboy accent.
I mean, to me, a cowboy is like a southern accent, so
Yeah,
it's kind of like, I
pack the
guess
punch.
not.
Huh.
Maybe. I did a British accent once, and my friends, another scam baiter who's British, was like, "Don't ever do that again. That was bad." And I was like, "All right." So like I know my limits. I'm not gonna try to Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Although I find sometimes then if these conversations go long, I vary from New York accent to Southern accent to me and back and forth. And I'm like, well, they probably don't know the difference anyway. So,
Yeah.
um, oh, wait, he wants you to do, boy, this is name that or have him do that accent. Can you do an Irish one? Matthew's asking.
No, I can kind of do a Scottish one, but I can only really do it when I'm sounding like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes,
So when I
yes,
do that, then I can. The Irish accent is a little bit. That's someone I gotta work on for sure.
yeah,
You gotta park the
yeah.
car. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I would like to try to learn on my own is the Boston one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions or anything?
Like when I think of a New York accent, I automatically just think of like the old movies from like
Gangster movies.
the mafia movies where it's like,
Yes.
hey, let me tell you something right now, okay? You know, like something like that. That's kind of like what I think of. So,
Yeah, that's how it started for me was a couple months ago. It was probably last December or November. I had a guy pretending to be Chris Evans, and I just went full Godfather on him, and how I'm the boss and I bought the territory over there. You work for me now. I get a cut of everything. And he's there the whole time. I'm Chris Evans. No, I'm really Chris. I'm like, you're not Chris,
yeah.
That's how it kind of started. And then I've been doing it a little more lately, or trying to. Has a scammer ever found out personal information about you? And if so, how did you deal with it? These are good questions, Matthew. You get a gold
Mm,
star.
no, not that. Not. I mean, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I think we all try to do a good job of keeping our privacy
Yeah.
private.
I, yeah, and I think what's important too is like I think there should be um like unspoken kind of I don't know what to say exactly, but there should be something that's unspoken where it's like as someone who goes after scammers, you don't want to like dox another person who also goes after scammers.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? Like you
Yeah.
might know like I know a bunch of people's like real names, you know what I mean? But I don't go and I don't say their real name or say like this is where you're at or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like because it's dangerous, you know, and
Well,
it's like
yeah, a
there's
lot of like my followers, I don't like the one girl, I haven't talked to her in a while, but I know her real name, but I call her by her nickname on here. We never go by.
right,
I mean, I go by Patsy, but a lot of people call me the Pink Lady or Boss. And
right.
but I mean, I never, if they don't have their real name, they get called whatever their screen name is. So, there's one thing I would like to ask you, and I hope it's okay. I am working on a book that I hope will come out this summer. Ladies shared their scam stories with me. And in the back, I'm listing people that I think that they should follow on TikTok. I'd like to add you on that. I already did.
Wow.
But I would like just, people to check out it because I've got you, Chad Huber, Jersey John, Ivy Princess, Coastal Cowboy, Doc Compton, some big creators that I'm huge fans of, and I feel like they're really doing the good job. So I
Yeah,
just like to make sure it's okay with you
yeah, for
because
sure. Thank you.
yeah, I added it the other night. My daughter just finished school, so she gets a week off, and then she's got to finish editing it for me. So
Oh, nice,
she's
nice.
my editor. So and we're just gonna do Amazon, self-publishing. So
That's sweet.
oh, flower, I hope so. I don't really think a couple big creators on here who are more politically connected, they don't really see TikTok going away. It's going to be stretched out. I would be very upset if it did because I just felt like I'm able to reach. I've made so many friends on here, and I've
Yeah,
like doing the Wednesday night guests. I got to meet creators that I probably never would have had an opportunity to talk to. And I'd like to, bring you to my followers so they follow you. And I like to turn people on to people that I found that I think are awesome. So
yeah.
I
I mean,
hope not, but no, it's
yeah,
coming out this summer. I mean, if she can get finishing it, I'm hoping by beginning of June, then it won't take us long to do the self-publishing, I don't think.
yeah.
So I already have the account set up. So
I'm in Canada, and so like I see what's happening in the US, and I feel bad for you guys down in the States, you know what I mean? I mean, as a Canadian, I always say to people like, please don't gift, please don't blah blah blah, because
Yeah,
I mean, it's in for us, it's really very minimal, like the creator fund. I think where it works well for Canadians is like subscriptions. I think those there's actually like money to be made on TikTok, I guess. But we don't make if I have a video that goes viral and has like a million views, like I make nothing, like zero. There's no
yeah,
money for a
yeah.
Canadian creator, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
And like I
So
tell everybody, I
yeah.
don't make money. I have t-shirts. I'm using the lady that does Chad Huber's shirts and
Mm,
merchandise. And the money that I would get as my part, I donate, or she donates to Advocating for You, which is a
right.
group on here who I'm a big supporter of. So I don't get anything, and any of my little swag stuff I make myself. And so you know, I don't do
Mm,
anything for money. And this is, I like to help people. I like to make people laugh. And there's so many more people that need to know about this stuff that's going on,
yeah.
So this is just my little contribution. And when I first started to want to do the lives about a month and a half ago, to do lives every night, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And now it's just like last night we went to the show. I got home, had dinner, and I was done by 7:45. And I'm like, well, I could come on for an hour, and I got a good phone call in that hour too,
Yeah.
So it's just I'm trying to be consistent. There are nights I can't come on if I'm going somewhere, but I just think it's oh, um, Chaos goes, would y'all collaborate on a scammer takedown? I think that would be fun to get everybody together doing their character or whatever.
Yeah. We actually talked about that when I first got started scam baiting. There is a group, I want to say like the OGs that I'm used to, like, or that I got started with. So people like Joe Scambait, Luke's Doghouse, Little Peace, G-Man, IRS Scammers, Skeleton Siski. I mean, I could drop a bunch of like names and stuff like
Couldn't
that,
you
right?
message those to me? Because if they're on TikTok, I'd like to reach out and see if they'd want to
I
be a
don't think
guest.
I don't think I don't think they're on TikTok. They're all on
Okay.
YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, and
oh,
we talked
okay.
and we had discussed one time about doing something like that where it's like, someone is because back then the scammers used to say go get the gift cards, right? So, well, they still do once in a while. But you're in Walmart, and as you're walking through Walmart, you run into all these people, right? Oh, hey, haven't seen you in forever. How's you been? And and the person you have a conversation with that person, the scammer is like, "Sir, please get the gift card and leave. Like, what are you doing? What? Why? Nothing. Nothing is coming. Nothing. 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 Right? So, like, they're going, and you walk away, then you run into someone else, and you be like, oh, hey, oh, I used to have a crush on this lady. Blah blah blah. Go talk to her,
That would be a
like things
good
like
one.
that. Like as you're walking through, like you're running into people. We had that kind of like it just never came to fruition. Everyone was doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and so it never happened, but it's a fun idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. That is a
Hmm.
good idea. Anybody else got any questions? Because I will let him go back to his family. Applebee card instead of Apple card.
The Applebee's.
I have fake cards that I found online that I actually send, and then
Yeah,
they like, well, can you send me the receipt? And I play the dumb blonde that Suzanne Sugarbaker can be. Oh no, I ran out of the store so fast I forgot the receipt. I had one
yeah.
guy go back and get it. I go, well, they're not gonna have it still.
I was actually thinking of getting a little printer that would like print out like some of those things, like a little receipt, because there is a way to make fake receipts online.
Yeah.
And then Gambit, my friend Gambit, he has a tool that he created that in real time you could just put in like the PD, you can make a PDF of the bank wire transfer and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Ooh,
really yeah, it's really cool.
cool. Chaos asked, where are his suggested questions to ask people to know they are talking to scammers?
Oh, how do you find out if you're talking to a scammer or not?
Yeah, I guess what kind of question? Well, we know the questions they ask. Have you eaten today? How's the weather over there? How's your
Yeah,
health?
yeah,
Do you live alone? Do you own your own house? Those are just a few they ask. I
right.
guess asking them, you can't just say, "Are you a scammer?" because they're not going to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of these guys you can really call them out on locations. They're not very well versed on, like for example, if you say something like, have you been to the Statue of Liberty over in Miami? you know, and they go, "Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite places to go." It's like, buddy, like that's the wrong, that's not how it goes, or little things like that, right? Like, have you been to the Sears Tower over in like Dallas, Texas? It's like something like that, like something where you could kind of like catch them and they'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And a lot of them are like that, when they pretend to be PayPal, and I say, "Oh, where are you located?" And they go, "We're in the California." You know what I mean? It's like the California, okay, buddy. You know, little things like that. Just look at their English too. Like if it's
The
broken up,
grammar.
then yeah, the grammar,
I have a
scammer
hard time
grammar,
with the grammar. Yeah, scammer
scammer
grammar.
grammar. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Well, I used to tell them I'm from Pluto, Missouri, and there is no Pluto, Missouri. And I would have a guy say, "Oh, I've been there. It's beautiful." And I just start laughing. Well, now I tell them I'm from Uranus, Missouri, which is a real place. It's
Nice.
a my daughter and I. It's like 2 hours from St. Louis. We're gonna go there one Saturday soon. I'm gonna take the wig, and because Suzanne's always saying she's from, they have a big fudge factory, and you got to Google them. They have a web page, Uranus, Missouri. Please check it. I have
Oh
done
my
so much
gosh.
advertising for them on my stuff because whenever I say I'm from Uranus, Missouri, I always mention the fudge factory, and
That is hilarious.
but yeah, we're gonna go there, take the wig. My daughter, will make a face, but she'll do it. She's very supportive in all of this. She really is, and
Yeah.
because she'll walk through here when I'm carrying on a conversation and just ignore me, So, but yeah, we're gonna go there and do some videos, and then I'll have her do the editing because she's better than I am, and
Yes.
say, "Hey, I visited Uranus, Missouri." So,
Yeah.
oh, can someone remote access your cell phone to run a scam?
Yes. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So like even if you were to, sorry, my phone, yeah, I'm looking for my phone and you're on my phone. So because I don't use this to go live on TikTok, so I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my phone at? Yeah, basically all these remote access softwares like AnyDesk, TeamViewer, UltraViewer, these are all available on like your phones. Screen Connect as well. So the Screen Connect one is really scary though because I literally watched a scammer who had a lady download Screen Connect onto her phone, and he was watching everything that she was like text messaging. She was bad mouthing this other person, and she was like going off. And I'm watching the scammer, and I'm seeing what he's seeing.
Oh
So
my
then
god.
I have her number, so I call her up and I said, "Look, ma'am, blah blah blah. That message you were just about to send about that person, and I described it. I said I can see that message because I can see the scammer's computer and they're connected to your phone." And then they were like, "Oh my gosh." So I said, I think it's really simple to there some are easier to remove than others, but basically if you want to get rid of these apps, you have to turn off your Wi-Fi and your mobile data.
Okay.
When you turn them off, it boots the scammer off. There's no internet connection. There's nothing there for him to whatever. Then you can go and uninstall them. And then once you do that, then it's safe to turn your data and your Wi-Fi back on.
Well, that's
If you
good
don't
to
do that,
know.
yeah, if you
That's
don't
good
do
to
that,
know.
like if you're trying to uninstall it while they're watching you, they stop you. They move the mouse around or they move the the your phone around to a different app or whatever to prevent you from doing that because you
Yeah.
have the internet on. Sometimes the people just forget to take the internet off.
Yeah. Now, how would they have access? Could it be through? I get this, and I don't do any. I block them. I'll get a text. Like last week, I got a text from some guy who somebody sent me a text and said golfing tomorrow, and I responded back no. I figured it was just And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, I've never done this before. I apologize, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Okay." And then he sends another message and says, "Oh, I've been in this country 6 years." Well, right away, I was like, "Yeah, right. I've never done anything like that before." And then I just blocked him. But I'll get messages from like my priest at my church. "Oh, Patsy, this is Father Bob. I really need you to call me."
Mm.
And I guess they're thinking I'm going to call that number. Well, I know Father Bob's not going to text me.
Right, right.
But then I also would a way that they could do this if they sent you a link through text and then you click on it, would that be, or how do they get access to your phone? Or is it just you unwittingly say, "Oh, sure, you can have access"?
Yeah, so there's malware, there's ransomware, there's like lots of different types of ware, software, ways that they can kind of get in. Mostly these scammers are mostly doing it through social engineering, right? So they'll have you download a remote access software. They
Right.
need to help you. And so that's their guise is like, hey, we are trying to help you remove whatever this charge is. You need to go to this site to connect to our secure server. There's no secure server. That's a load of BS. But when you give them the passwords or the numbers that they're asking you for to connect, that's when you're opening you're basically what you're doing is like you're opening your house door and saying, "Come steal from me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll just be sitting here watching you do it. That's basically what you're doing. So yeah, so that's typically how they do it. It's not really through it's not really through just like if you click on a link or something like
Yeah.
that. It's not so much that there's information you have to put in, or if the link downloads something automatically, that's where you have to be very, very careful.
Yeah. I think you answered this, but maybe you can explain it again. Flower asked, "How do you find the software to remove it?"
If it's on a phone, I mean, just go into your downloads. Same thing with your computer, right? You go into your browser and look at your downloads, recent downloads, look at your downloads folder, look at your apps in your on your phone and in your computer, and see, like, click on the date, sort by date and see which ones were recently installed. You don't recognize it, nuke it,
Yeah.
get rid of it, get it out of there.
Yeah.
So
Cool. You crash PayPal. Oh my gosh. Does anybody have any more questions? Well, Deo, it was so nice to meet you. I'm very appreciative that you could stop by.
thanks, Patsy.
And if you come up with anything new some months down the road, let me know. We'll have you back again. If you
Yeah, sounds
guys
good.
don't follow him, I don't have my sign, but if you don't follow him, follow him. I think you can just click on the picture and get the follow button.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh no, I'm telling that. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
if
yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to do the TikTok thing. I'm like,
yeah,
just
I
yeah.
think that's what you can do. But or if you click on his picture or something. But yeah, yes, I do accept emails for questions. I came a little unprepared tonight. Where's my this is my email. If you can see it, it's patsypodcast@att.net. And I do try to check my email every day. I'm getting better. So yeah.
Thanks,
So
man.
yeah, so don't, I always tell everybody they don't love you, they love your money. So, and I appreciate the follows. Thank you. But yeah, follow him because he is awesome. And again, thank you so much for coming. And for those of you, if you stick around, my phone's been going off all day. Prince Foz has been calling me on Zanji and all the others. I'm going to do phone calls.
Nice.
Thank, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Do you know how I leave?
Oh,
Because
I
I
can
don't.
I can take care of that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me on
Bye.
as well. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Okay, take care.
Here we go. Whoops, there we go.